We saw Bronny James, big night on the court for him and LeBron. And I don't know, it just didn't move me. I think there are a lot of people just looked at it as a photo op. Even Colin said it was a Kardashian moment kind of thing. And that's what it felt like. It just felt like, and we had, who was it who called up earlier who said it wasn't the history.
Oh, yeah, I forgot his name, but he said it was manufactured.
From Atlanta, Chili Tim. It was manufactured, and that's what it felt like. It was manufactured, and that's what it felt like.
It was manufactured, and that's what it felt like.
It really felt like this was kind of set up.
It sounds like a script to me. I really don't even think this is really about a championship no more. This is about putting on a good show. Think about this. They hired J.J. Redick, draft Bronny. I mean, does this sound like something that's like we're trying to move in a direction to win a championship, or does it sound like we're trying to put on a show? I'm just keeping it 100. It's like they're more interested on entertainment, because if you do that, that's going to sell tickets. That's going to sell out. That's going to keep people talking about it in the blogs. That's going to keep people in social media talking about what's going on. Like every day it's going to be either good or bad.
Now, those are the words of the great former NBA player Paul Pierce, who real basketball fans with even just a smidget of basketball IQ, that's all you need is 3% of basketball IQ to know that Paul Pierce is a far better player than LeBron James, undoubtedly. I mean, you could literally put on blindfolds or get glaucoma in your eyes and you'll still be able to see that LeBron James isn't Michael Jordan or better than Paul Pierce. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Paul Pierce's nickname is the truth. And my philosophy is, the truth is like vegetables. Nobody likes vegetables, but hey, guess what? It's good for you. Everybody should want to hear the truth. And lies are like bad food. Everybody loves the lie nowadays. Just like people love bad foods, people love the lies. And people have been lied to for so long about LeBron James. LeBron James is actually like some bad food, like some stinky bad food. Have you ever left a burger just sitting out for a few days and smell it? Yes, that's LeBron James. But for LeBron James' entire career since the day he was drafted, it just seemed all too perfect and just seems like a fairy tale. I mean, my little 3-year-old nephew could have wrote a better storyline than LeBron James in his RBA career. But his career is simply manufactured. He gets drafted to his hometown team, wins regular season MVPs over Kobe Bryant, and is already considered the best in his first step with the Cavs, playing in the weak East. Didn't even win no championships or proved himself that he could win championships, but he was considered the best. Doesn't make sense. It sounds like a manufactured career to me. But that's just my opinion. But LeBron James constantly chokes on the big stages, but the media never acknowledge it or critique his mishaps. They just always sweep everything under the rug. Quits enjoying other teams, chokes in the RBA finals. Then he did The Decision, which actually looked like a scripted segment with the whole setup with cameras, so on and so forth. Him going back to Cleveland, then being the first player, not Michael Jordan, but the first player to come back from being down 3-1. But LeBron James can do it. Then going to Los Angeles, winning the rigged bubble title, doing it for Kobe. It just all seemed too good to be true. But now here we are in 2024 with LeBron James' son, who you couldn't even pay a scientist, a mad scientist, to give this man some talent. But Bronny James playing with his dad had already been planned since birth. Before Bronny was born, the RBA and the elites that control society already had in stone that LeBron James would one day play with his son in the RBA. See, the higher-ups utilized television over the years to show us what's coming in the future, right? They call it predictive programming. But they put these things, they put little hints in front of us. It's like they're playing with God. It's almost like these celebrities and entertainers, they're manufactured gods and they want for society to worship them. They play the role as false prophets, but they're telling you what's to come. So it already had been scripted that Bronny James was going to play with his father in the RBA. But most of the time, fans are just so entertained and so infatuated with LeBron not being able to see that it's all scripted. They can't see the script, but it's like a fairy tale, only written for a children's book. But they been knew that LeBron James would one day play with his son in a sense to enhance and add another chapter to his scripted legacy.
How your boys?
Oh, good,
See
man.
the videos, man. Your son, he can hoop off.
You got a chance.
You got a chance.
You got a chance. I mean, if he stays where he at right now along this path,
You got a chance.
Here's the question. I told somebody this like a year ago. How old are you?
I'm 33. He's 13.
Dude, in 6 years, what if you and your son
Oh
can play
my
the
God.
league together?
By the way,
Are you gonna be able to? You gonna let him stay that long to play?
by the way, if he has a chance and it seems like he can make it,
You are.
what?
You got to.
Got to.
You got to do the Griffey.
No, you got to do it. Got to.
You got to do the Griffey.
No, you got to do it.
Got to. Gotta do the Griffin. No, you gotta do it.
Got to.
You got to.
And same team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Set up your free agency.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That'd be amazing.
Yep.
See, the 2024 RBA draft was rigged for Bronny to be taken when clearly he's not even a better player than Asia Wilson. I mean, how do you waste a pick on a player who barely averaged 5 points per game? It's preposterous at best. I wouldn't even have selected Bronny James with the 200th pick. But even if you rewind back like 8 years ago, LeBron was literally on ESPN talking about playing in the league with his son. His son hadn't dribbled a basketball yet, and it was just mysterious how LeBron James would talk about playing with his son. So he already knew, right? Just like they already know that LeBron James is going to continue to stay around and play with Bryce James. He's using this as an excuse to be able to stay around. Oh, I want to play with my sons. And then you'll have the brainwashed bronsexuals like, well, what's wrong with the man wanting to play with his son? But he's only doing this so that it poses as a distraction so people won't question how is he defeating Father Time. Nobody has beat Father Time, but somehow LeBron James can. So it's going to distract you from the fact that he could possibly be on steroids. But everybody's going to be so focused on talking about LeBron James standing around to play with his sons, right? Now, something like that would normally seem like a pipe dream. Things would literally have to go perfect in order for that to happen, in order for LeBron James to play with his son, meaning no excruciating career-ending injuries. But it just so happens that LeBron James made it to 40 years old, playing at the same fast pace and barely running out of gas. This would mean that it would have to be scripted, ladies and gentlemen. This would mean that the almighty Super LeBumster is on steroids, aka performance enhancement drugs, allegedly. But LeBron James is on the juice, not apple juice, no, not cranberry juice, no. Not grape juice, but the P. Diddler juice. But they knew that Bronny would play alongside his father well before Bronny was even born. And they placed the basketball in his hands. Bronny doesn't even look like a basketball player. He looks like a Geek Squad worker trying to play basketball. Bronny being drafted was nothing more than to simply continue the chapter of LeBron James and his scripted legacy. Because they'll say, oh, well, Michael Jordan never played with his son. He never played with none of his sons. Michael Jordan didn't have the close relationship with his sons that LeBron James has with his kids. They're trying to change the narrative now, but it also serves as a distraction, as I said. This is why the Lakers will continue to suck. This is so that the Lakers could have a built-in excuse as to why they suck so bad. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to win the in-season tournament. They're going to be trash in the play-in tournament. And even DeMarcus Cousins stated he knew that the Lakers weren't serious about winning when they drafted Bronny James. Because it's nothing more than just a reality TV show. You're watching a soap opera. Because Bronny James doesn't deserve to be in the RBA. His dad doesn't even belong in the RBA. Bronny James sucks. His dad is overrated. All of this stuff is scripted. It's no different than watching a movie. And how ironic is it that Bronny James just so happens to go to the Lakers? And this is why the RBA is so terrible. They mislead people. This is the society that we're in, where they're not earning anything. LeBron James Jr. was just given a roster spot. He didn't have to earn it. See, Michael Jordan could have played with his sons. He could have used his power and could have used his popularity and who he is to pull strings to get his son in the RBA. He could have did the same thing. But Michael Jordan wasn't too much for the gimmicks. He wanted his sons to earn it. If Marcus Jordan and them didn't play well, they didn't get no roster spot. They didn't deserve draft considerations. Bronny James was just gift wrapped a RBA spot, and he didn't earn it. He doesn't even deserve to play in the G League.